Okay, it's been a while, but welcome back to the Greatest Security Chronicles. And right, we were starting to hear about what Gina actually witnessed in Case 3. What'd you see, Gina? You said McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? She was pulled out, eventually, when McGilded discovered her. Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the curve hitting the floor. I let a little scream, see? I couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by my arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc? Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus. Not for long. McGilded spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bog trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Alright, what'd you hear? Well, it was so dark under that seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably that was McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh. Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim. Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. That still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. So McGilded was lying, as I suspected. What about after? I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed quite quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. 2 cubs from up top ran up to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they'd gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Oh no. Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye, I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? Being on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Windibanks. The coachie snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. Then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there. But not without conditions. I see. And what were these conditions? What were McGilded's conditions, then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul. Not for anything. But what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked me to go pop your weasel, right? Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. And I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. Oh-ho. In case it might happen to be delayed at all. You're to go to the pawn shop. Windibank, so it is. And you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. We understand each other, lass. Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me... Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye. They'll come ask you to take the stand in court. To testify as witness. Let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say? And what is it that you won't? Uh-huh. After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. I hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So McGilded planned it. McGilded planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. Jesus, into literally doing his dirty work. Whatever's on that disc, he didn't want it to fall into the hands of the police. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom, I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so he couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man! He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us. We was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have, in a heartbeat, could have had the whole lot of us chased out there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere. That's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Huh? If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. We need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what? Heard he's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright. Right? See, you are a sweetheart. After all that talk about pushing us away and being guilty, I was all worried about Holden. That's why I want to investigate. Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it? Something like that. Mr. Zato? Yes, oh, of course. I have the representation papers right here. Oh, Gina. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer, or nothing. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court of record. She does. She's desperately trying to push us away and be strong on her own like she always has been, but she really does need someone. She's desperate for someone. But she wanted to push us away. She still showed up for dinner and to sleep over. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now. Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there. Definitely. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. When has he ever actually been happy? He's a grump. Is what I'm trying to say. Now we're in. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hi, Toby. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? We should go home and get some rest. Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship! Ow! Don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little vagabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. Wow. I can see you've been very busy here as well. He only took that so well because it was Iris presenting it to him, but I'll take it. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Chug, 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 chug. Lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm as fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be hard if we investigate the scene of the crime, then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. You'll be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector. I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. There are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever. The lad's working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently. Must be what Lord Strongheart mentioned by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Yes, sir, boss. Come, then. Let us not waste any time. These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy. Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example? sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know. Are you alright, Runa? Oh, it's just... well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but... pick out individual things. Can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. It's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever. Strangely, I understand that feeling. It's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Runa? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? Oh. What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but... it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Greggs you'd have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. A very fitting title. Well played, Iris. There's the article that you're here, Mr. Windbank's notes, and... What's this? Looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh, look at the back! There's some writing! Is there? Ooh, show us, Susie! Show us! February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th April, 10:30 p.m. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think. Yes, this would be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday. And is still wearing. Which belonged to McGilded. I never expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Mr. Windbank just used whatever pieces of paper he happened to have on hand. Cat. But this photograph of a cat. It looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently. Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. £10, 1 small box. It's very much a cat. Mr. Windbag appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. It's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had on hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now. It's an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like Wagahai. I always thought that cats like to curl up under the heated kotatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Just for a little reminder. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print. What are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out! Alright, let the cogs turn. There it is. Yes, they are exactly the same. Is that a postcard, then? Hehe, I've got it. These 2 photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Hehe, and do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Please. Alright, now we can chat. So Iris, about these 2 photographic prints. One we found here on Mr. Windbank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What do we know about them? Can we see any differences in them? I can't see anything obvious in them. What's the amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these 2 identical prints? Maybe it's the something that we stick in the machine over there that makes things 3D. I forget what it's called. Examined it before. Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry? If you look carefully, the 2 prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? have a look at them now. Okay, yeah, I see some differences. And you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. What's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Well, it's because they're a set, you see? No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Oh, I called it. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Oh, yes. That's what Mr. Scholz showed us yesterday. There it is. You see? There it is, just over there. Yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What, really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Could that explain, though? We need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Alright, Iris. Give us the science. Alright, the stereoscopic prints. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just opened them, and it works. The reason it works, because we have two eyes. Two eyes. Shocking. If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye? Close your right eye. Look with your left eye. And what you see with your right eye? Open both eyes. Are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. I swear they actually move the background slightly to mimic this. I feel like they've moved the background slightly just to give us that effect. That's that's neat. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'll be able to see depth in these prints? Yes, Runo. Beginning to understand. The stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can? Really? Alright, how do we view? Let's try it. Let's see if you can view these pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Sada-san really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me, and see if you can copy. Make your eyes, and do this. Oh god. Alright, let me try. Alright. Oh god. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm going to cross my eyes. There, how's that? A screenshot this, for posterity's sake. Wonderful, now it's your turn, Runo. Tricks to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. Okay, back to normal. Alright, there's enough practice. Let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images like this. You try it now, Runo. I'm just going to have to give it a try, I suppose. Right, cross your eyes. Do it now. Did the print split into two images for you? Now the next step. Put the pair of prints side by side like this, then try crossing your eyes again. Prints should slowly merge together until... they form a new, single image in the center. Oh, yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real! Ah, God! Jump scared with cross-eyed Susie. Oh, I could look at it all day! I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Runo. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. Like this, is it? There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Did you manage it? I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. I, for one, do not feel comfortable intentionally cross-eyeing myself. Me with I've had enough eye problems growing up that I not particularly interested in doing crazy things with my eyes. So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than the others. That's why contraptions like this exist. People who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, well, you messed with it and thought we broke it. If I remember correctly, you pressed this little knob here. And set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back end. It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now. Cat. Red London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. These little machines are so affordable. Surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. Stereoscopic pictures. I never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. Okay, we went through all that. We got the second cat photo. What else is here? The ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all than have a clear head, if you ask me. Clearly, Mr. Winterbank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. You'd have to be a respectable pawnbroker like that. Oh there, Bobby. This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before he came in here. Shh! Keep it down! Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just here. Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once. But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over me shift. They really have a tough time, the British police. That doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm pretty sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Alright, what's on the calendar? Ah, look here! Bullet! Oh yes, a bullet hole! And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall. Presumably Mr. Winterberg wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Ah, well. Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Ah, yes. Patriotic. Sorry? It's all there in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps? In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once! Forget that for now, Bruno. Let's examine this bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? It's a suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! I may very well be able to help with that. What? Anything like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Bruno? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this. Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing? Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. As soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed. Shrek detector. There, does it make sense now? No. Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see? Yes, how wonderful. Chemical fires combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash. Presumably if you have a sample of their blood to compare with. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris! Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great. So whose blood are we looking at then? Bet therein lies the problem. Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so... Just find someone whose blood turns the same color, and you'll know who it belongs to. In a flash. It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2. This could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make a note of it in the court record. Alright, blood samples per portfolio. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have reagent left, sure. Use your reagent wisely, Green blood. Just seems wrong somehow. Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks and purples too, you know? Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Just that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. Makes you think. Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Oop. I missed. Hell. Cactus. Oh, door. 3 golden balls. That's right. That sign shows the shop is a pawnbrokery. Bit like your armband shows you're a defense lawyer. And what's the significance of the 3 golden balls? Does that have some special meaning? No clue. I expect Hurley would like to answer that question when he's back from the hospital. You mean you don't know? can just say you don't know, I don't mind. Really. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. We are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again. Oh yes, that's a folding stereoscope. Really? This is a stereoscope. Dr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. For that, he used the great big contraption over there. Ah, well. That's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you could use in them. I have a little collection myself. I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Yeah, some things run in the family. Do you make money off of keeping your toilet sparkling clean, Naruhodo? If not, then the context of that sentence does not make very much sense. Behind that door. The storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. Mr. Winterbank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine this scene, Mr. Naruhodo. You must make a thorough investigation. Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime. Don't worry, if there are clues in there, I'll find them. Alright, go to Windbank's storeroom. Oh, there we are. This is the serious one. Okay. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Winterbank's life was taken in this very room only last night. Gregsy? Ah! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? Took one look at me and tried to run away. Think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away with some jumped up little defense lawyer, do ya? I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me. You're running away from a 10-year-old. I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Gentle reassurance? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? Well done, Gregson. I don't think that went very well. Bye! Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine. I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves. Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say. Oh, Hurley. An inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. Alright. Tell me what you know, Gregsy. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? You've got eyes, haven't you? Use them. It is what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here? Yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to this storeroom was found locked from the inside. It was locked from the inside? The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, ma'am. Quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible. Oh. You can see the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. Next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, a hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, in the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand. No! Presumably it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. In her ladyship's humble opinion. Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he? Well, the thing is... Don't mince your words, Inspector. Please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well... Out with it! Right. Damn, Suzanne. Yes, ma'am. I use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. Whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. Trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. Couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, or so I hear. Now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my. No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again. Hurley. And when he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Alright, so we're gonna get out of you. Let's get to work, shall we? Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. Can't believe how many there are. Bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings, look! Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust in here together. Something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine! Yeah, that's fair. Of all the articles in the storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. Ah! What is it, Iris? That's the box file that my manuscript is being kept in. Oh! Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely, that's not what all this... Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. You must check inside the box at once. Yes. Ah! It was there! Iris' story was there! Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. Hmm? I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it. Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. Iris's manuscript. That's interesting. The goods. This is a revolver. A real one. And quite possibly the murder weapon. You should take Mr. Windenbank's life. What's the matter, Susie? You do not look like you're about to faint. Well, just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. Anyway, we saw Mr. Windenbank with us yesterday, didn't we? I'm really gonna show it. Yep. I shall take my own life. That was so weird. How much they play that off as a joke. So weird. Must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, it was in Gina's hand. That was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand. Mr. Windenbank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Right, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun had been fired. So we can be certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line. Poor Mr. Windenbank. He was a nice old man. Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Most likely the fellow died instantly. Wouldn't have felt a thing. There's not much comfort. This must be his blood, then. Ah! Reagent time? I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Reagent gun. Poof. Blue. So now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windenbank's blood. So we have green blood on the wall, blue blood in here. And does it match with our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop? No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyways. Right, blood samples portfolio. Iris? Don't worry, I'm alright. I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely. Anything else to see in here? Don't think so. Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest. Ah, yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles. Most fascinating title, your ladyship. Fascinating. I don't suppose. Is Gregson in that story? Would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time? Good question. I can't really remember. I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just wait its publication with eager anticipation. Needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. That's the entirely wrong voice. You looking to be arrested, Sunshine? I didn't mean it like that. And even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? Let's see. Maybe we show this to you, Gregsy? Nah, we don't tend to share, Sunshine. In that case, Gregsy, how about some herbal tea? Lovely. Alright, that's the spot, your ladyship. Yep. Alright, if there's anything else we can do here. Oh, hello. Where's Wilson? Gamer keys. The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Suzato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? Suzato? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm so sorry. Hound of the Baskervilles, eh? Oh, I thought that market is checked off. Oh well. Why you can identify differences in people's blood like this is amazing. You really are a genius, Iris. I know. I am. If Hurley and I put our minds to it, we could really shake up Britain's chemists and alchemists. And you could shake up Japan's lawyers and judges, couldn't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, for sure. Even if I didn't intend to. What's gonna be this? I feel like we went through everything that was in here earlier. So what are we missing? Oh, this is new. Inspector, what do you think of this? What have we here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? It's like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, it's the ticket for McGilded's overcoat, the one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean to, Bruno's right, Gregsy. Isn't the same ticket. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. What's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask? This is a second ticket. A second one? It seems that Mr. McGilded, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windibanks. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Alright, excellent. Here's our way forward. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. Oh, I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. According to the details of this ticket, Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Windibank. Oh, yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it? Do you have an idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. Could be an important clue. Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Oh, please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking. Angry munching. It's no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it? Oh, yes. Of course. Articles are only held for 2 months. So the small box will no longer be in here, then? That's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop with where the forfeited items are offered for sale. It's the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. Oh? There are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds, even. Can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. The information's not written in the ledger. But I think we should at least have a look. Just in case. Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. It's getting old. Well, let's go have a look. Yes, this is where all the items that have been forfeited by their original owners are offered for sale. That's right, they've all got little price labels on them. There are so many. I wonder if the small box this ticket was for is still on the shelf somewhere. The box that McGilded deposited here just over 2 months ago. Even if it were, finding it promises to be very troublesome indeed. And there are so many boxes. It could be any one of them. Mr. Shulman said that a pawnbroker's was the safest place to store anything, more secure than a bank vault. So perhaps this small box of Mr. McGilded's contains something of great value. Well, if that's the case, he'd probably have kept it locked. So we need to find every box with a lock and break them all open. Hey, yeah! What? Why? That sort of misconduct would get you arrested. I won't let that happen. This takes me back. It's been some time since Suzato-san last threw me. Well, that's not happening then. What is our next choice? Check the ledger? No. Back here. Might miss what people say. Let me show you this. Oh, my manuscript. Mr. Shulman said he deposited it. Winterbank said he had. But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it. Why would Hurley say I can't publish it? Afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose. Oh, maybe. It's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines. Yeah, maybe. She could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. A nice thought. Join for the order, examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book for cash. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still, we're working through the night, that's for sure. Even then, we'll have barely scratched the surface. Crime and pawnbrokers. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. Every copper's worst nightmare, you know, are crime and pawnbrokers. Thank you, Bobby. To talk about there. That hints to be telling me that we have more to talk to Iris about. Yeah, we could linger here a bit longer. What are we supposed to find? I'm really at a loss here. Say, for the first time, I generally don't know what to do. It's legitimately the first time this has happened in this game. It's like something would have changed. But I can't tell what. Poor Ginny. This is all my fault, really. But she'll be alright, won't she? In court tomorrow, I mean. I'll defend her with everything I've got. So, she'll be alright, won't she? Am I that bad at instilling confidence? It's the ticket that Gina brought in here yesterday. Yes, having been entrusted to her by McGilded, Mr. McGilded 2 months earlier. Oh, do we have to spray this? I got deposited one gentleman's overcoat. The redemption ticket was in the pocket of that coat. Yes, for a small box deposited 2 days before the omnibus incident. Anything to do with all this? Gamer keys. Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here. I have noticed. The red smear, you mean? Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wonder if Suzato-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case... Yes, we need Iris. We should show this to her before we forget. Aha! Let's actually update that for us. Which means now we can show this to Iris. Oh, that looks like blood. I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather. Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me. We have green and blue so far, and we got purple. Another blood. Look at that. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it'd be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood... Oh, you had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is? Depends on who we have in our court record. Why not? I think I do. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. So this is the redemption ticket for... Not from the color of a turd, but with a little deduction. That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well? You first, Runo. Who do you think it belongs to? Alright, I believe that this is the blood of... Pop Winterbank. So, redemption ticket. We know McGilded left the redemption ticket for Gina to pick up. It's gotta be Thrice-Fired Mason, right? Thrice-Fired Mason. You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there. Okay. It was 2 months ago now, in that case. And of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case. Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. That would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yeah? Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Winterbanks yesterday, suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at the time. So it's a smear of blood for the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Yeah, something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul would rush to help a fella bleed from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. It certainly does look like a leather-gloved thumbprint, this mark. We know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time, anywhere on his body. Which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Naruhodo, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Bruno. Very well. Let's make a note of this. All right. Oh God. Ah! I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Winbank set such a wicked trap? We'll find out next time.